Howdy. We are here with something, I guess, political, but it's Decoy voice, and it's 8:44, so it's going to be short and told to us through a buttery smooth voice. Hopefully you like it. We're going to give him a like. Go check out the original video. It might be linked in the comments. I've been trying to be better about that, but let's get into it.
As President Donald Trump and Elon Musk continue to use Doge to dismantle government overspending like USAID, the media goes into a frenzy, desperately trying to convince the public that frivolous spending was a good thing.
In Cambodia, with a team that cleared landmines and leftover explosives, but a freeze in U.S. foreign aid funding around the world could seriously upend progress.
Cambodia is one of
Could does not mean it will.
the most heavily contaminated landscapes on the planet, littered with tons of bombs, bullets, and landmines, left over from years of brutal civil strife and a lot from U.S. bombing campaigns during the Vietnam War. The State Department has been a major backer of demining groups here.
With American aid drying up in places like Cambodia, projects everywhere will depend on other countries to fill that funding gap, including China.
Oh no, China might have to spend their money on humanitarian aid on
Heaven forbid.
the continent that they share. How dare we expect them to contribute? We better immediately resume sending billions of dollars to minesweeping and underwater basket weaving just so the Chinese can continue focusing on bolstering their navy. It's almost like these newscasters don't even listen to themselves or even proofread
I don't think they do. I think other people write for them, and they just kind of spout it like a parrot.
what they're writing, as a caption over this clip is U.S. aid freeze, which is actually what they wanted you to think USAID was, or aid to other countries, when it's really the United States Agency for International Development, meaning spreading liberal initiatives to third world countries that have zero of the cultural issues we have in
That's called spreading democracy, and everybody loved it in Helldivers.
America. But sure, help inject DEI programs into Burmese scholarships and LGBT initiatives in Cambodia, all behind the guise of sweeping landmines on the side.
Guys, it's really going to help America that we have a DEI play that we funded in Ireland. Strongest country ever.
As I do understand, landmines are terrifying, but it's not like once the local residents stop receiving checks from the American taxpayer, they'll just shrug their shoulders and say, I guess I'll just let my kids' limbs get destroyed. No, they'll find a way to take care of the issue, or better yet, their local government can use their resources to take care of their issues. And this isn't me being callous to the fact that American tax dollars from half a century ago may have planted some of those munitions. This is me having absolutely zero faith that if we continue to throw them billions of our dollars in an
Yeah, I'm betting a lot of the money that was supposed to be doing that is not going there anyway. It's not making it that far. I assume we're giving it to politicians.
effort to eliminate their landmine issue, more than 99% of that cash is never actually going to go to protecting their people from landmines. As USAID is an aid, it's $29 million going to improve young Egyptian skills, $30 million for the LGBTI experience in the Caribbean, $4 million to fight internet trolls in Kazakhstan, and even when we spend here locally, there was $59 million.
Why are we feeding the trolls? We're literally feeding them money.
For hotels in New York City, but for the migrants. And remember, we covered the crisis in NYC at length, then discovered that we house migrants in the Roosevelt Hotel for millions, proposing an additional $220 million.
I've never even seen a Roosevelt Hotel. Where's my free room?
Going to Pakistan, as Pakistan's government owns the Roosevelt Hotel in America, who is now being handsomely compensated to assist in the destruction of New York City. But as long as we label all this as aid and life-saving, the news media can prance around in the public's face, trying to shame us into continuing this obvious scam, as the politicians are now claiming eliminating fraud is unconstitutional.
You know, what is going on in this country, not only with education, but with other institutions, is the president is operating in a very authoritarian, illegal, and unconstitutional way.
Then other Democrat senators go on ABC to echo that same sentiment.
A constitutional crisis, grossly unconstitutional, pretty alarming language.
Yeah, listen, I think this is the most serious constitutional crisis the country has faced. Certainly since Watergate, the president is attempting to seize control of power and for corrupt purposes.
I'm pretty sure it's the exact opposite if you're ending corruption and everything you're doing is constitutional. He's not giving himself more power. He's just taking money away from things that don't need our money.
And now CNN parrots their talking points.
And tonight, there are warnings that the U.S. is dangerously close to a constitutional crisis.
Then NPR, The Intercept, Fox News, The New York Times, Yahoo, MSNBC, AP, and basically everybody is echoing the so-called constitutional crisis we're currently facing. And there's a reason this meme took off, I think, in late 2020. First, it was 15 days to slow the curve. Then it was lockdowns and masks. Then it was get this injection. Then support this war in Eastern Europe. Then vote Kamala to save democracy. And now, Doge is a constitutional crisis. If suddenly and all at once, every single news outlet all says the same exact line in the same exact way, it almost seems like we have a Chinese-style state-sponsored media. As interestingly enough, we're finding a lot of news outlets received money directly from the government. Then those same news outlets are telling us to stop looking into government spending. Seems suspicious, especially when they basically championed Biden for notoriously not listening to the law.
Tens of millions of people's debt was literally about to get canceled. But then some of my Republican friends and elected officials and special interests sued us, and the Supreme Court blocked us. But that didn't stop us. No, I mean it sincerely. We continue to find alternative paths to reduce student debt payments.
So it's almost like they're not worried about a constitutional crisis. They're just all looking for their new hotkey phrase that fits on a bumper sticker, so they...
Yeah, they're all the same. Don't listen to any government officials. Don't listen to any news outlets. None of them on either side. You'll be a lot happier and a lot smarter. You can think for yourself. Critical thinking is very important in life.
They can all reiterate the
And good morning, trans commenter. Welcome back.
same line at the same time to make the normies think Elon uncovering government fraud is against your best interest, when in actuality, they only seem to be protecting themselves. As watch Fox News dunk on MSNBC for blatantly misinforming their viewers.
Elon Musk has apparently somehow convinced the United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units. Isn't it great and definitely not at all illegal or profoundly corrupt? Definitely not ripping us all off to pay themselves, right?
Donald Trump didn't give that contract to Elon Musk. Joe Biden gave it to him.
Oh. Oh.
I've said this several times on this channel. You'd probably be more informed if you didn't watch the mainstream media, as all they do is misrepresent and twist the facts to fit the narrative of what their corporate sponsors want you to think. And I used to say that in the context of them pushing certain agendas and ignoring certain facts so you take a certain medication. But now I honestly wonder if they're doing the same thing for fraud. But at least the more they struggle against Doge, the more they know they're on the right track. As look at Washington, D.C., almost entirely liberal like the politicians that are freaking out. And exactly 1 week ago, Battle Beagle was wondering what Doge would...
Why does it say Chevy Chase? Is there a place called Chevy Chase? I kind of... I need to see this.
Do to DC real estate. But as of today, it's exploding with new listings, mainly of $1 million to multi-million-dollar properties. How much bloat did Doge just expose? Because they've only started to freeze these government programs, and already all these allegedly rich people can't stay in their DC mansions anymore, which makes these political
That's weird. Wonder what happened there.
freakouts and marches in the streets make a whole lot more sense now, where if you own a $3 million mansion, you should be making at least $2.3 million annually, which brings me to the final, most satisfying slides. As Google search trends across America for lawyer is pretty consistent throughout the year, but in DC only, it suddenly skyrocketed on
That's a concerning trend on Google.
nearly the exact date Donald
What do you need all these lawyers for?
Trump was inaugurated as president and continues to climb. I know search terms don't definitively mean anything, but it seems awfully suspicious that this is exactly what Trump campaigned on. Having Elon Musk head the meme government agency in Doge to expose the corruption behind where our tax dollars are actually going. Then suddenly the ultra-left DC freaks out, calls up their buddies in the media to call Elon every name in the book. Then they all possibly can't afford their $1 million mortgages anymore, and then they all have to look up their nearest lawyer. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I'm enjoying it every step of the way. So if you appreciate alliteration,
Oh,
over
he's
my
milking
concise,
it for content.
lighthearted commentary
He's
on
milking
how
so
America is
much
finally
content
back,
out of this.
hopefully I've earned your subscription, and we can chat again soon.
Oh, honey, Decoy voice. You earned it a long time ago. That was fantastic. Thank you. Give them a like and subscribe. I'm going to try and link it into the upload later. I'm trying to be better about that. Let me know in the comments what side you were on. I'm sure that will not spark a war at all. Thanks for joining me. Be safe, stay happy, and stay hydrated.